We just brought home our first quail, 4 beautiful females and 1 lucky male. This is our first time keeping quail, and honestly, I'm both excited and nervous. But here's the big question: when can we introduce them to our chickens? We've already had 4 hens and 1 rooster, and I don't want to make any mistakes that could put the new quail at risk. I know some people say just let them free range together, it'll be fine. But let me tell you, this is a huge mistake that could be deadly for your quail. So before I do anything, I did my research, and today I'll share exactly when and how to safely introduce quail to chickens, or if you should do it at all. Let's get to it. Imagine this: you're so excited about your new quail and think they're birds. Chickens are birds. What's the worst thing that could happen? So you open the cage, you place your quail inside the chicken coop and walk away. Big mistake. A few minutes later, you come back and your quail are nowhere to be seen. You look around frantically, only to find out that your chickens chased them, pecked at them, or even unalived them, God forbid. I've heard horror stories from people who lost their quail within hours because they didn't realize how dangerous chickens can be to smaller birds. And I don't want that to happen to mine or to yours. So let's talk about what you need to know before attempting this. Why quail and chickens don't always mix. There are 3 main reasons why you can't just throw quail in with your chickens and expect them to get along. Reason number 1, chickens are bullies. The size and the pecking order. Chickens are much bigger, and they will peck at anything smaller than them. In the pecking order, quails are easy targets and they have absolutely no defense. Reason number 2 is quails are fragile. Unlike chickens, quails are not fighters. A single peck from a chicken could seriously injure or unalive them. And reason number 3 is disease risk, because chickens carry bacteria that can harm quail. Chickens can carry bacteria like Corzia, which doesn't harm them but is really terrible to quail and can unalive them as well. And mixing them increases that disease risk. And trust me, sick quails are really hard to save. So when can you introduce quails to chicken? When is the right time to introduce them to each other? Now, before we do anything, here's the simple truth. Never in the same coop, only in a separate but secure enclosure, and best if they are never able to directly interact. Quail thrives best in their own enclosure, in their own environment, away from larger birds. Some people use divided aviaries, but even then the risk is really high. So if you are wanting to introduce them, or if you have to introduce them, please do so and do it slowly and only in a supervised and protected setup. So what's the go-to? What's a safe introduction method? How do you do it right? If you're determined to keep quail and chickens in the same area, here's the only safe way to do it. Step 1 is to keep them separate for at least 30 days. This will help to prevent disease transmission and allows time for quarantine. Step 2 is use a wire divider. Place the quail in a separate pen inside or next to the chicken run. Let them see and hear each other, but without any physical contact. And step 3, supervised free range time. This is optional. If you have a large secure run, like we do, you may allow quail and chickens to free range together for really short periods, but only under strict supervision. And make sure that there are hiding spots for quail, just in case chickens become aggressive, God forbid. Step 4 is to monitor for stress and safety. If the chickens chase, if they peck, if they harass that quail, stop the introduction. If the quail looks stressed, like they're hiding, they're not eating, they're trying to fly away, keep them separate permanently. So what's the final verdict here? Should quail live with chickens? So after all this research, here is my honest answer. Quail and chickens should not live together. Quails are happier, they're healthier, they're safer in their own enclosure. Trying to mix them always leads to injury, stress, or disease. So for best results, here's what you should do. Keep quail in their own secure cage. If they must interact, use a barrier or a separate pen, and never mix them in the same coop or chicken run. What do you think? Have you ever tried keeping quail and chicken together? Let me know in the comments. And if this video has helped you in any way, hit that like button so most people can avoid making this mistake. And don't forget to subscribe, because in my next video, I'll be talking about the biggest quail keeping myths that could ruin your flock. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and have a great day.